All right, there we go. That should be fine. There we go. Everybody there? Everybody there? I know. We got to fix. It happens once in a while. Good to have you with us today on Tuesday. We started out well. Yesterday was gorgeous, is what I started out saying. When nobody can hear me. But it was beautiful. Went for a walk last night. Holy mackerel. Just nice. All right. Glad you're here today. My name is Nick Stewart. This is Sunrise Santa Rosa. Welcome to the program. And telephone number to call is 850-771-0049. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Milton Post, for hosting, and everybody else that shares it. God bless you. And I'm glad everybody is up and awake this morning. We got a lot to talk about today. As always, never can get to all of it. I always kind of throw some stuff to the side because we just have a limited amount of time. That's how it works. But glad everybody's here. All right. I do want to start. I'm going to get the weather forecast. Let's do that first because we do need to take a look at that. But I do want to say this is April 13th. And some of you have been with us for a while. This day, 1 year ago, I had neck surgery. And they went in and fused some vertebrae together because I couldn't use my right arm. I basically was worthless. I just want to say I am doing great. And 1 year later, it's just a world of difference. And I thank God for my doctor, Dr. Giovannini, did a great job. And man, just fantastic. A year, I can't believe it. All right, your forecast today, mix of clouds and sun early, followed by cloudy skies this afternoon. There's a stray shower thunderstorm possible and a high near 84. Tonight, cloudy early with some clearing expected late, a low near 61. And then tomorrow, partly cloudy skies during the morning hours, giving way to cloudy skies and rain in the afternoon and a high near 77. The chance of rain tomorrow, 80%. Rainfall around 1/4 inch. So that's pretty significant there. All right. Glad you're here. Let's get started. Okay. OWA and the South Baldwin Chamber of Commerce are excited to release the entertainment schedule for the 17th Annual Gulf Coast Hot Air Balloon Festival. It's going to happen May 6th through the 9th at the OWA Resort in Foley. That's where Paula Dean's is at. Enjoy a weekend of entertainment, arts, crafts, display, braving the thrills of OWA's amusement park rides and more through the resort and festival sites. Balloon glows and tethered rides, weather permitting. Complete the adventurous day every evening at dusk throughout the festival weekend. It all begins on the evening of Thursday, May 6th with the balloon glow and continues through Sunday, May 9th. Live entertainment is going to happen. There's some singers, some bands, things like that. Check it out. At OWA. Now, we were there last Monday, and I was sad to see that Wahlburgers was out. Wahlburgers has gone out of OWA. Paula Dean's is there. Wasn't crowded. There were people there, but it wasn't crowded. So make sure that OWA's a nice place. It's very pretty, very nice. Thank you. Thank you, Diane. I appreciate that. The balloon thing it's pretty. It's cool to watch, and if you get a chance, go. Get the whole weekend. Hopefully, it's a nice weekend. One man's been arrested in connection with assault and rape of a woman at a Pensacola hotel over the weekend. This is just I wonder about people's wisdom and the lack thereof. Munguia Rainieri, 43 of Foley, Alabama, was arrested Sunday, charged with sexual battery, and booked into the Scabby County Jail with a $50,000 bond. So here's what happened. He's accused of groping a woman while another man raped her, and a third sat in a chair and watched. Rainieri was arrested by police or deputies Sunday, and remained in custody on Monday. No other arrests in the case have been made. So here's what happened. The woman said she went to a club Saturday night with two female friends. Her two female friends left early. She decided to stay by herself. At the club, the woman met 3 men, and later she left the club with 3 men. The woman allowed the 3 men that she met at the club to stay in her hotel room so they wouldn't have to drive back. Once back in her hotel room, the woman said she passed out on a bed. She said she woke up the next morning in pain and realized one of the 3 men, known only to her as Reuben, was raping her. The woman said at the same time, Rainieri was on top of her and groping her as a third unidentified man was sitting in the chair in the room speaking in Spanish. The other 2, when she started fighting back, ran away. She grabbed Rainieri by the shirt and held him until the police arrived. Where is wisdom? Where is wisdom? It doesn't say how old the woman was, but it doesn't make a difference. These are horrible life choices. I am not defending these men at all. But I'm saying don't put yourself in a stupid position like that. What in God's name are you thinking? Or you can't even be thinking. That is just the dumbest thing ever. Not a very bright move on her part. I'm sure there was alcohol involved. I'm sure you're going to a club. It probably was. But how much wisdom? I mean, number one, you got to be kind of kooky to let your friends go back. I'm going to stick around. I'm partying some more. You allow 3 strange men to come back to your hotel room and spend the night. What? I don't know. Drunks make bad decisions. Yeah. But there was bad decisions all the way along. All the way along. You can't blame it all on just alcohol. But just really weird. All right. Stupid and asking for trouble. I mean, there's no excuse for the guys raping her, but I don't know, people. I just don't get it. Pensacola Bay Bridge reopening plan for weekend of May 31st. Construction crews are working to repair bridge damage and return traffic to the structure the week of May 31st. Now, there's a photo. I couldn't get it, but it shows that a full deck has been replaced, but the multi-use path on the outside of the structure has not. Now, have they said anything else about the trophy piece? No. A decision on whether the initial reopening on the week of May 31st will accommodate 4 lanes of traffic or temporarily consist of combination of 2 and 4 lanes has not yet been determined, or even if it will open May 31st. Corey says they could have also spiked your drink. Don't put yourself in that position. Don't put yourself in that position. So we'll see. We'll see if they haven't said about the trophy piece, but we will do it. Navarre Beach firefighters are lobbying to establish a special fire district by the state, but they're facing political obstacles. The firefighters first had to gain the support of voters, which they did. 70% of voters said they got this. This got Representative Jair Williamson take the bill to Tallahassee. But now there's a battle going through the state legislature. We're told by our attorney that the Speaker of the House would entertain the bill, or wouldn't. Sorry. Navarre Beach Fire Chief Danny Fury says, we thought the hardest part was getting the 74%. The people have spoken. They want this for our fire department. We're kind of in shock still, waiting to hear back from lots of people. So right now it's paid for by the tax. It's a private fire group. If the Navarre Beach is granted the charter, its firefighters will qualify for state retirement benefits. The department will also be eligible for state funding. District charter also gives citizens the authority to elect fire board members. And they need to. They need to have their own, but we'll see what happens. I don't even think last minute, Donna. They'll just keep kicking the can down the road. I could be wrong. I haven't been on this so far. This is weird. A man riding an electric scooter was hit and killed overnight, Sunday night into Monday, by a car in Escambia County. It happened around 12:15 a.m. on Muldoon Road, south of Cerny Road. A silver Ford Focus was traveling north on Muldoon Road toward Cerny Road, while an electric scooter with no lights, no reflectors, was traveling ahead of it in the same direction. The Ford collided with the rear of the electric scooter, knocking it off the road. Now, this kind of stuff drives me crazy. I find it terrible that this individual died from this collision. But what, again, no wisdom. No wisdom. You are traveling on the road in an electric scooter going 6.5 miles an hour. Yes. You're traveling down the street, the road, in an electric scooter with traffic. You're not even going against traffic so that you can see, so you can get off the road. No lights, no reflectors. Call people at 12:15 in the morning. I just, again, no wisdom. Is the Waffle House run that important? I don't know. That blows my mind. Well, this is kind of wild. This is Atlas. Maybe you've seen this. This is Atlas. That is a great, big Great Dane. Look at that dog. He's a purebred German Harlequin Great Dane. He may be the tallest dog in the world. The C family home in Navarre on Friday, April 9th, they took this picture. The C family's in the process of certifying that Atlas is the tallest living dog in the world at 104 centimeters with the Guinness Book of World Records. He's 6 years old, 225 pounds. That is a big boy. He's 104 centimeters tall, or 3 feet 4 inches. Yeah. From his paws to his withers, that's a spot between the shoulder blades. It's the official measuring point for all Guinness World Record holding dogs. Atlas has about 3 centimeters on the current living world record holder. That's 101 centimeters tall. Wow. And you know, the Great Danes are babies. They are babies. They think they're lap dogs. That is a wild big beast. Can you imagine feeding that thing? Hoo-hoo! Or even picking up the duty after that thing? That would be brutal. Just amazing. Just absolutely amazing. Wow. Yikes, man. That is, he's got to be over 6 feet if you stay. Oh, I'm sure. Can you imagine that thing jumping up on you? Wow. And you know, dogs like that scare people, but those are really gentle dogs. Governor Ron DeSantis is pushing back after YouTube censored a COVID roundtable discussion he held last month. The incident is adding more fuel to the calls for addressing big tech censorship. In a March roundtable, the governor discussed downsides to lockdowns, contact tracing, and even children wearing face masks. Children should not wear face masks. No, said Dr. Martin Kurtoff, the professor of medicine at Harvard University. He was at the roundtable. YouTube cites that comment, another about face masks for children, a third about comment questioning face mask overall effectiveness at reducing case rates for removing the roundtable from its platform. What we're really witnessing is Orwellian, said DeSantis. The governor is doubling down, reassembling the scientists for their reaction. You're entering into a phase of countries we used to criticize severely, like the USSR, like communist China, said Dr. Scott Atlas, Robert Wesson, senior fellow of the Hoover Institute at Stanford. Now, YouTube spokesperson said, we removed this video because it included content that contradicts the consensus of local and global health authorities regarding the efficacy of masks to prevent the spread of COVID-19. It's not science. It is what is the word? The consensus. It's not science. It's just consensus. We agree, so you're wrong. And they removed the video. Governor DeSantis has hung signs on the all major interstates coming into Florida. This is kind of cool. Informing everyone traveling by road into the state that the Sunshine State has implemented E-Verify, a background check system for employees to see if prospective hires are in fact legally authorized to work in the United States. The signs, DeSantis' office told Breitbart News, are now visible on all three interstate gateways into Florida along I-10, I-95, and I-75. The signs come after Florida's legislature last year passed E-Verify measures, which DeSantis signed into law last summer. So, I think this is a great idea. Now, will they prosecute it? I hope they do. And what happens to employers that hire people without E-Verify? That's the case. And we'll see. 850-771-0049. While Congressman Matt Gaetz remains under investigation by the FBI on sex trafficking allegations, he's calling on his voters for support as he continues to deny all claims. Since the allegations against Rep. Gaetz came to light about 2 weeks ago, at least 2 emails have been sent in an effort to rally supporters to donate to his campaign. An email read, "Friend, a brand new smear campaign has been launched against me, but I am fighting back to expose the truth. While the left cheers and spreads these lies, I'm going to need your support to fight back. I will stay and fight the establishment, but I need your help." The email ends by saying, "Can I count on your support?" with a link to donate to Gaetz' campaign. Some see this campaigning as Gaetz is attempting to capitalize on the accusations against him. Okay. I fail to see anything wrong with this. You want to give, you don't want to give, don't give. That's how I view it. Now, the same people who scream against Gaetz are the same ones who didn't have a problem with Bill Clinton being a serial rapist, about Joe Biden being a pervy. They don't have a problem with that. Just saying. All right. So Monday night, the Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension identified the officer who shot and killed 20-year-old Duante Wright in Brooklyn Center on Sunday. The BCA identified the longtime veteran of Brooklyn Center Police Department as Officer Kim Potter. Potter's on standard administrative leave. On Monday, the police chief said that he believed that the shooting was accidental and that the officer thought she fired her taser instead of her handgun. Here is the body cam footage. Okay? Watch and listen. He's getting away. He's trying to get away. He jumps in the car. "I'll tase you," she says. So she shot him instead of tasing him. All right. Heat of the moment, panic. Is it wrong? Yeah. But here's the other part too. Should he have been resisting arrest? No. It never would have happened if he cooperated. This is another wisdom thing. I never want to put the officers in a position like that. Now, she hollered, taser, taser, taser. She warned him. Now, she shot him instead of tasing him, but she warned him, and he refused to relent. Okay? Don't fight the police. Potter's worked for the department for nearly 25 years. She's the president of the Brooklyn Center Police Officers Association. In that role, she has represented other officers involved in deadly shootings. Now, Mayor Mike Elliott said he supports the firing of the officer who shot Wright. Here he is at a press conference.
So, counseling, but should she lose her job, it's abundantly clear that
should she lose her job?
Killed someone?
Let me be very clear. My position is that we cannot afford to make mistakes that lead to the loss of life of other people in our profession. And so I do fully support releasing the officer of her duties.
Do you support her being fired?
I do.
Okay. Mr. Mayor, you just...
Yep. Wants to get rid of her. She needs to go, he says. Now, you got an officer with 25 years experience. Is this a pattern? Is there abuse pattern? Now, should she ride a desk maybe? I don't know. But should she lose her job? Now, Brooklyn Center City Manager Kurt Bogany was fired on Monday evening, hours after he publicly disagreed with Mayor Mike Elliott's assertion that the police officer who fatally shot a black man in Minneapolis should be fired. Effective immediately, our city manager has been relieved of his duties, and the deputy city manager will be assuming his duties moving forward, Elliott wrote on Twitter. I will continue to work my hardest to ensure good leadership at all levels of city government. So you can't disagree with the mayor on it. I disagree. I don't think they should fire. You're fired. Now, Portland City Police Department declared a riot late Monday outside the city's Penumbra Kelly building following a vigil in memory of Daunte Wright. So the police shooting in Minneapolis sparked a riot in Portland. All right. The Oregonian newspaper, citing reporters at the scene, reported that a crowd swelled to at least 200 outside the building that houses law enforcement agencies. Police in the city took to Twitter to say protesters hurled projectiles, including bottles, rocks, and large fireworks. The situation at the Kelly building has devolved into a riot, a late-night tweet read. Dispersal orders have been given. In addition to broken windows, continued projectiles being thrown at police. Multiple attempts to breach the building have occurred. Kamala Harris took to Twitter late Monday to comment that on the Daunte Wright shooting and said his family needs justice and healing as the investigation plays out. Prayers are not enough, she tweeted. Daunte Wright should still be with us. Well, he should still be alive, maybe, but he wouldn't be with us. He would be in jail. He was wanted on a warrant. That's why they were arresting him. He had broken the law, and then he was resisting arrest. Yeah. He would not be with us. An investigation is underway. Our nation needs justice and healing, and Daunte's family needs to know why their child is dead. They deserve answers. He's dead because he resisted arrest. Harris, when she was nominee for vice president, or president, vice president at that point, I guess, spoke about protests that broke out across the country after the death of George Floyd and Breonna Taylor. She told Stephen Colbert that in June that nationwide protests against racial injustice were not going to stop after the election. Now, she doesn't have a problem speaking out about this. We have no statements from her on the border. 20 days she's been tapped to be in charge of the border. 20 days. And she's not had a press conference. She's not been to the border. but she doesn't have a problem speaking out on Daunte Wright. Okay. Should Mr. Wright have some accountability for his actions? No. You are so draconian. You're such a white supremacist. If he had made better life choices, he'd still be with us. Probably. Prayers aren't enough. She's lost. Yeah. All right. Squad member and progressive Michigan Democrat Rashida Tlaib, who's a racist. She's a racist. She put a Twitter post on Monday night that the death of Daunte Wright wasn't an accident, and she appeared to call for an end of policing. In the post, Tlaib indicated that the police system should be ended because it could not be reformed as it's inherently and intentionally racist. She also appeared to equate policing with government-funded murder. Policing is government-funded murder. You mean like abortion? Just a question. You're right, Sharon. Hello, Miss Ellen. How are you? Good to have you with us today. All right. Joe Biden suggested on Monday that the police shooting of Daunte Wright over the weekend in Minneapolis could potentially have been intentional and urged calm while investigators work to conclude what happened. Here is Captain Spaz in the White House.
Briefly on what happened in Minnesota last night. We've spoken to the governor, the mayor, spoken to the authorities there, and I haven't called Daunte Wright's family, but our prayers are with their family. It was a really tragic thing that happened. But I think we got to wait and see what the investigation shows, the entire investigation. You all watched, I assume as I did, the film.
He assumes that he watched it.
It's fairly the body cam, which is fairly graphic. The question is, was it an accident? Was it intentional? That remains.
He puts it out there. Was it an accident or was it intentional? He says that. Was it an accident or was it intentional?
By a full-blown investigation. But in the meantime, I want to make it clear again, there is absolutely no justification, none, for looting, no justification for violence. Peaceful protest, understandable. And the fact is that, we do know that the anger, pain, and trauma that exists in the black community in that environment is real. It's serious and it's consequential. But it will not justify violence and or looting. And so the question is how we, in an orderly way, make clear that they get down to a full-blown investigation to determine what the facts are and what is likely to have happened. In the meantime,
so he should have waited for the facts before he said, was it an accident or was it intentional? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? You're saying that this 25-year veteran of the police force intentionally shot Daunte Wright. Now, he is inciting violence. You got to be kidding me. She knew, you're telling me it was intentional, that she knew that they were going to pick up Daunte Wright, that they were going to find him out driving. They were going to pick him up, arrest him for an outstanding warrant with other officers there present, and she was going to shoot him and kill him. That was intentional. This is our brain trust. All right. I'm done with this ding dong. You got to see this. This is police chief of Brooklyn Center, Minnesota. Now, he had it's Chief Tim Gannon. He's at his Monday news conference. and he is describing what was going on. And he uses the word riot. Watch what happens.
One final question. What was your decision to issue a dispersal order?
What was your decision to issue a dispersal order?
In front of the police station.
What is the reason for you to order a dispersal order when people are peacefully protesting?
What led to you to issue a dispersal order, and then on the back end of that 10-minute dispersal order, then to issue out CO2 canisters and gas for the crowd?
So,
Can you talk to us about that?
just so everybody's clear, I was front and center at the protest, at the riot. We did not.
There was no riot.
There was. So
It was no riot. It was no riot. They're correcting him. He's having a press conference. What prompted you to issue a dispersal order and then use CO2 gas to break up the crowd? This peaceful protest, and he called it a riot. And the press corrected him.
the officers that were putting themselves in harm's way were being pelted with frozen cans of pop. They were being pelted with concrete blocks. And yes, we had our helmets on and we had other protection gear, but an officer was injured, hit in the head with a brick. That was a Hennepin County deputy. He was transported to the hospital. So we had to make decisions. We had to disperse the crowd because we can't allow our officers to be harmed. And I've already answered the question.
But that's not a riot. That's a peaceful protest. Bricks and frozen cans of soda and that kind of thing. That's peaceful protest.
Leave about your lighting. I know that's a big deal with you, and I understand that. But I thought I'd explain that myself. So I told you it's my decision, and that's why I made that decision. Is there another question? Yes, ma'am.
Good for him. Good for him. But can you believe that they corrected him? Oh, that's not a riot. That's not a riot. It's not a riot. Yes, it is a riot. What right does the press have to quantify what a riot is and what a riot isn't? It's a peaceful protest. No. How? Let me ask you this. They call this a peaceful protest, but the thousands that were on Capitol Hill that were peacefully protesting, and you had a few that decided to act like jackwagons, and that was an assault on our democracy on the Capitol. What's the difference? Because riot in this case does not fit their narrative. The riot in this case doesn't fit their narrative, and so you can't call it a riot. This is the press. You can't call it a riot. No, it's not a riot. Are you paying attention? Are you paying attention to what's going on? Tasers are on the officer's weak side. She drew her gun. Heat of the moment. Yeah, heat of the monument. You can't have monuments. Those got to come down. Monuments are racist, and so are guns. I know what you mean, Alan. Just teasing you. All right. I'm just messing. What else? A police officer was wounded in a shooting at a high school in Knoxville, Tennessee, authorities said Monday. Officials said the person who shot the officer, a student at Austin East Magnet High School, died at the scene when police returned fire. At 3:15 local time, police responded to a report of a male who was possibly armed in the school. Tennessee Bureau of Investigation Director David Roush said police found the suspect in a school restroom and ordered him out, but he refused. Police entered the restroom. He fired shots, striking an officer. One officer returned fire, and the student was pronounced dead at the scene. There are no other known gunshot victims. The wounded officer has not been identified. He's conscious and expected to survive. Students who were not involved in the incident were sent home. It was 3:15 in the afternoon. You're going home. The person who died at the school was the subject of the initial call to police. And they got him. It's unfortunate, but they got him. Well, here's something to give you nightmares. A New Yorker who wants to marry their own adult offspring is suing to overturn laws barring the incestuous practice, calling it a matter of individual autonomy. The pining parent seeks to remain anonymous because their request is an action that a large segment of society views as morally, socially, and biologically repugnant. Through the enduring bond of marriage, two persons, whatever relationship they might otherwise have with one another, can find a greater value of expression, intimacy, and spirituality, the parent argues in a Manhattan federal court. Legal papers give only the barest picture of the would-be newlyweds, failing to identify their gender, ages, hometowns, or the nature of their relationship. Well, I think if they want to marry, I think the nature of the relationship is pretty clear. The proposed spouses are adults, the filing says. The proposed spouses are biological parent and child. The proposed spouses are unable to procreate together. Incest is a third-degree felony under New York law, punishable by up to 4 years behind bars, and incestuous marriages are considered void, with the spouses facing a fine and up to 6 months in jail. Marriage licenses in the 5 boroughs require potential spouses to list their birth parents and attest that there are no legal impediments to the marriage. Freaky tiki. It is sickening. What in the world? He identifies as his daughter's boyfriend. I think it's a mother, from what I understand. But I'm not sure. It's just, yeah, it's pretty gross. But this is it. When you start, right, or when you start changing marriage laws because two men want to be together, two women want to be together, you've got a throuple, which is 3 people. Where does it stop? Where does it stop? It doesn't. Oh my goodness. Freak show. The NCAA has sided with transgender athletes on Monday, saying they will no longer hold events in states that aren't free of discrimination. NCAA Board of Governors made the announcement as legislatures in more than 24 states propose, debate, and advance legislation aimed at requiring state schools to ensure that athletes compete in the category of their assigned birth gender. How dare they? Racists. The Board of Governors says it firmly and unequivocally supports the opportunity for transgender student athletes to compete in college sports. Instead of banning transgender athletes from women's sports, the NCAA's approach would require trans athletes to undergo testosterone suppression treatment. Well, how dare you do that? Before they could compete. According to this Board of Governors, the approach would ensure that inclusion and fairness can exist for all student athletes, including transgender athletes at all levels of sport. Bye, NCAA. Bye. Totally ridiculous. There goes college sports. Yep. You knew it was coming. You knew that this was coming to college sports. They've destroyed sports. White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki said on Monday that the Biden administration was looking for ways to conduct outreach to white conservative communities where coronavirus vaccine hesitancy runs high. Such outreach, Psaki said, could include partnerships with NASCAR, the car racing franchise, and CMT, the country music television station. Guess what, Jen Psaki? You're a racist. You're a racist. You are stereotyping white conservatives. We're looking for a range of creative ways to get directly connected to white conservative communities. Here is Jen Psaki spouting her racism.
Investing $3 billion to states and community-based organizations.
investing $3 billion in this.
To strengthen vaccine confidence in the highest risk and hardest hit communities. And often people think of that as just black and brown communities, and that is not. As you've noted, that is also conservative communities, white evangelicals. It's a range of communities around the country. What we found to be most effective is to work with these local organizations. So faith-based organizations, community health organizations, civic leaders, and others who can really get this message deeply in communities. We've also had a number of our members of our COVID team, from Dr. Fauci and Dr. Collins, participate, as an example, in a range of media interviews. You know, an example is Dr. Collins participated in the 700 Club. Dr. Nunez-Smith hosted a faith leaders roundtable. We're also we've run PSAs on the deadliest catch. We're engaged with NASCAR and Country Music TV. We're looking for a range of creative ways to get directly connected to white conservative communities. We won't always be the best messengers, but we're still trying to meet people where they are, but also empower.
Trying to meet people where they are, because you white people all watch CMT. I don't. You white people all watch NASCAR. I don't. I don't watch 700 Club. But they're spending $3 billion to reach you where you are. $3 billion. Yeah. The Twilight Zone's not even as freaky as this. Oh my gosh, people. Wow. Absolutely wow. Many U.S. Marines' hesitancy to receive the coronavirus vaccines could prove to be a sticking point for President Biden as some Democrats pressure him to mandate vaccinations for service members. Nearly 40% of U.S. Marines who have been offered the coronavirus vaccine declined. That's according to data released last week. That translates to approximately 75,500 Marines who have received the vaccine and approximately 48,000 who've declined the vaccine. More than 100,000 Marines have yet to be offered the coronavirus vaccine, however. We fully understand that widespread acceptance of the COVID vaccine provides us with the best means to defeat this pandemic. The key to addressing the pandemic is building vaccine confidence. The vaccine is voluntary for all personnel at this time because the vaccines are authorized under emergency use authorization from the Food and Drug Administration. In March, 7 Democratic lawmakers, led by Rep. Jimmy Panetta of California, sent a letter to President Biden requesting that he issue a waiver of informed consent that would essentially mandate members of the military to receive coronavirus vaccinations. Vaccinating every eligible service member will improve readiness and have an immediate and positive impact on the communities in which they serve. Requiring DOD to obtain informed consent prior to vaccination is not only harmful to our national security, but contrary to the best interests of service members. This is a start. I want to tell you, this is a start. Because if they say the service members got to get vaccinated, we got to mandate that because it's in the best interest of the community and of the country. You are next. CDC Director Rochelle Walensky on Monday suggested Michigan close things down as part of an effort to curb the state's rising number of coronavirus cases. When you have an acute situation, an extraordinary number of cases like we have here in Michigan, the answer is not necessarily to give vaccines. In fact, we know the vaccine will have a delayed response. The answer to that is really to close things down, to go back to our basics, to go back to where we were last spring, last summer, to flatten the curve, decrease contact with one another, to test the extent that we have available to contact trace. Now, let me go over this a little bit, because the director of the CDC has said we know the vaccine will have a delayed response, meaning those who get vaccinated, it will take a while for that to change things. That's not what they've been saying, because just as they started rolling this thing out, they're like, look, the coronavirus is retreating. It's retreating in Texas because of the vaccine. It's retreating in Florida because of the vaccine. You still shouldn't open things up, but it's going down because of the vaccine. Have we had it in Texas or in Florida or wherever else longer than we've had it in Michigan? Nope. And they've inflicted masks, mandates, and shutting stuff down, and now they want to shut Michigan down again. Because there's a delayed response on the vaccine. It's amazing that it's delayed when it's convenient for them, but not when it's right. You get it? You get it? Appearing Sunday on MSNBC's The Mehdi Hassan Show, I played a clip from this yesterday. This is a different clip. Dr. Anthony Fauci said Americans may very well require booster shots for the coronavirus vaccine because it's so effective. Here you go.
And Pfizer, Dr. Fauci, announced last week that their vaccine is effective for at least 6 months. So should we be prepared to get COVID vaccine booster shots now every 6 months, 12 months, like we get the flu shot? Is that something we should plan for?
You know, we need to be careful about that 6-month number. The study only went out as far as 6 months. So we know for sure it's effective for 6 months, but it's highly likely that it will be effective for a considerably longer period of time.
We don't know that, but you don't know that. You don't know that.
Get the answer is to just follow people closely enough to determine when that level of efficacy or protection diminishes, both with regard to the level of the antibodies as well as clinical data with regard to breakthrough infection. So good news is that it's at least 6 months. Hopefully it'll be a lot more. But in direct answer to your question, if it turns out that it is a year or a year and a half, we very well may need to get booster shots to keep up the level of protection.
There it is. We're going to give you booster shots. You're going to have to go every year to get a booster shot because it's not what they said it was. Interesting. That's from Dr. Fauci. Lies and wordplay. No integrity. And this guy is a media hog. He wants to be on every show, spouting his stupidity. He is stupid. Dr. Fauci's a stupid man. Sylvester Stallone joined the Mar-a-Lago private club owned by former President Donald Trump. There's Sty. It's sly, I know. And liberals have been bashing him online over it. Page 6 reported that a source at the club told them Stallone had joined and was even seen taking photos with others at the club. The 74-year-old actor had just purchased a $35 million home in Palm Beach where the club's located. In December, critics of Trump took to Twitter to mock and ridicule the actor for what they saw as a tacit sign of support for the former president. So Stallone can ignore multiple credible sexual assault accusations. Okay, then, he can go blank right off. That's from author Kimberly Johnson. Would you say that about somebody that did something with Bill Clinton, or they helped Bill Clinton, or do something, go golfing with Bill Clinton? So they could just ignore those sexual assaults, those repeated rape accusations? Yeah. I don't know. Seeing Sylvester Stallone, the former Guys Club, proves once and for all that he did his own stunts and has brain damage to prove it, says Chris Hahn. So you can't have anything to do with former President Trump. He is a blight. A Business Roundtable survey released Monday found that 98%, that's pretty high, 98% of CEO members said proposed tax hikes would have a significant adverse effect on their ability to compete. 98%, let me read it again. 98% of CEO members said proposed tax hikes would have a significant adverse effect on their ability to compete. According to the survey results, 98% of CEOs said that an increase in the corporate tax rate from 21% to 28% would have a moderately to very significant adverse effect on their company's competitiveness. 75% of CEOs said that an increased tax burden on the U.S. companies would negatively affect their company's investments in R&D and innovation. 71% said it would negatively affect their ability to hire, and nearly two-thirds said it would result in slower wage growth for U.S. workers. An overwhelming majority, 88% of respondents, agreed that maintaining globally competitive U.S. tax policies is important for business expansion. When asked about an increase in the GILTI rate from 10.5 to 21%, 76% of CEOs reported it would have a moderately to very significant impact on the company's competitiveness, including plans for U.S. capital spending and hiring. It's going to kill jobs. It's going to kill business. Those surveyed said that Biden's proposed tax increase would have a negative effect on business expansion, hiring, and wage growth, investments in research and development, and innovation, and U.S. competitiveness in the global economy. He is going to kill everything. He's going to kill everything in the economy. 98%. Listen, Joe Biden has never held a real job. He knows zero about business. Joe Biden knows nothing about business. You've got 98% of CEOs saying this is bad. 98% that says this is bad. And Joe Biden has never held a job, and he will not listen. It is common sense, but not if you're a Democrat. There's no such thing as common sense when you're a Democrat. They use none. They use none. Listen. Blank page Biden. I think he's a blank page. I just think he just is ignorant. He's dumb. He's dumb. He's a dumb man. Go back and listen to any speech he's given. He's a dumb man. Ever. Go back and listen to any speech he's ever given. He's a dumb man. A House committee this week will take an unprecedented vote to create a commission to study providing federal reparations to the descendants of black slaves. So on top of the crazy stimulus package they just sent out that gave stimulus checks to illegal aliens, in addition to the $2.5 trillion they're pushing through right now, now they're going to study giving money as reparations to descendants of black slaves. House Democrats say they have political momentum to advance H.R. 40, an act to create a commission to study and develop reparation proposals for black people. The historic makeup of H.R. 40 is intended to continue a national conversation about how to confront the brutal mistreatment of African Americans during slavery. Judiciary Committee Chairman Jerry Nadler said this. Judiciary Committee run by Democrats is expected to advance the legislation to the House floor in a vote on Wednesday. And if you don't vote for it, you're a racist. You're a racist. Now, here is the thing. Are you going to do this, give this money, these reparations to all black people, or just descendants of slaves? And are you going to do it to slaves, people who can prove that they were adversely affected? You got to prove it. This is one of the dumbest things ever. Dumbest things ever. Yeah, you want to give reparations to people responsible for stuff like this. This is the results of the riot. I'm just saying. Oh, no. It's not a riot. It's not a riot. This is peaceful protest. Looks great to me. Looks very peaceful to me. These are dangerous people. The Democrats hate your nation. They hate our nation. They hate everything that we stand for. They don't like our flag. They don't like our independence. They don't like our amazing ability to move forward and lead. They hate that. They hate you. And they're doing everything they can to destroy it. Number one is giving away money. Money we don't have. And putting us in debt and selling. This guy is selling you out to China. He's selling you out to China. He's making you a slave. He's not getting rid of slavery. He's actually selling our country out to people. Kamala's not black. She's not black. Obama was only half black. Here's the thing. We need to pay attention. And I don't know. We've got to call stuff out, call it as we see it. Fight against those who are the Democrats are actively involved in tyranny. They are overthrowing our nation. And they're using our own government against us. Frightening. Absolutely frightening. And they're going to use the COVID stuff as the way to do it. If you want the vaccine, by all means, get it. I'm not stopping you. I'm not judging you. But if I don't want it, I shouldn't be forced to take it. Because none of this stuff is proven. You can't tell me that the masks are working because they've had mask mandates in Michigan and they're being overrun. They've got the vaccine in Michigan and they're being overrun with COVID. And now they want to shut it down again. You tell me. They are against you. And they are coming for you white evangelicals, conservatives with NASCAR and CMT. All right. Got to get out of here. We will see you tomorrow morning unless we're blocked. Thank you so much. Like it, share it, and have a great, blessed Tuesday. And stay strong. All right, my friends. We'll see you later.